What up, internet world? Brandon here, Solutionary Experiment. If you like the channel, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, do your thing. I'm going to talk about sports, but really not talk about sports. There's a lot of activities that has happened in the last several days as it relates to sports, and so I want to talk about that. Let's kick things off by talking about the WNBA and the players today walking out while the national anthem was being sung. Now, don't get me wrong. The national anthem is problematic. The third and fourth stanzas of it, if you read it, they are racist. They are absolutely racist. There's a problem. So you get no argument from me on that at all. What they wanted to try and bring, light to is the voiceless, like Breonna Taylor, who they actually mentioned and they honored.
We are dedicating this season to Breonna Taylor, an outstanding EMT who was murdered over 130 days ago in her home.
However, let's kind of unpack what that means. So the WNBA players decided they're going to walk out on the national anthem. Let's just say, for instance, that the cops who killed her senselessly and allowed her to lay lifeless in bed for 20 minutes before attempting to render any sort of aid, let's just walk down the path and say, all right, they're arrested. They're arrested and they're tried and they're put in jail for, what I think is a crime. Now what? Do the players now go back to standing there with the national anthem? I don't really know where all this goes. I don't have a problem with anybody peacefully protesting, but I would like to see some sort of strategy. We've attached this to Breonna Taylor and Sandra Bland and so many countless others. But, are you going to go back now to, once you feel like you've had justice for Breonna, you're going to go back to basically standing there for a national anthem that's problematic? Are you going to ask that the national anthem be, replaced? That's not going to happen. I mean, I could be wrong. Shit, it's 2020. All kinds of things have happened that I never thought would happen, but I don't really see it happening. What I would like to see is, all right, they brought light to the situation, that's going on there in Louisville, and so many others have. Let's get some voter registration now. We need to eliminate the district attorney all the way down, get them out of there, get them voted out of there. Let's make sure though that, we don't attach all of our efforts to an anthem, because what ends up happening, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, you lose a lot of the messaging, you lose the allies and other particular groups. And to me, I don't really know that is exactly the move at all. Now let's get to baseball. Let's talk about San Francisco Giants pitcher Sam Coonrod. He decided, I guess the players decided all over Major League Baseball that they were going to kneel in support of Black Lives Matter for, during, at the beginning of the games. Sam decided, I'm not kneeling. He says, I only kneel before God. Kind of hard to be mad at that. But then you have people who are saying, well, he's hiding behind his Christianity and whatnot. I'm not going to question that man's faith. I don't know why he did or did not, kneel. To me, kneeling is majoring in minor shit. I don't really care if you kneel or you don't kneel, because to me, kneeling or painting Black Lives Matter on the streets is not really resulting in a whole lot of substantive change. So to me, it's just all an optical illusion. I'm not going to be distracted by that at all. But Sam goes on to say that he has some problems with the actual Black Lives Matter movement. And so I'm going to read for you some things from the actual Black Lives Matter founders, what their position is. Because what Sam says is, look, I have some issues with Black Lives Matter because they're leaning towards Marxist, methodologies, and also how they, their feelings on the nuclear family. So I'm going to read directly from them what it is that they have to say. And then you tell me if he's within his rights to have a question about the Black Lives Matter movement. Not Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement, the organizations. So, co-founder Patrice Cullors, she says, I quote, "We are trained Marxists. We are super versed on sort of ideological theories. And I think what we really tried to do is build a movement that could be utilized by many, many Black folk." She's admitting and saying she's a trained Marxist. Now it's up to you to actually look up what it actually means to be a Marxist and what's affiliated with that. I'm not going to get into that. You look that up and you draw your own conclusions. But she is admitting it, and Sam is saying he has an issue with it. And his other issue was the fact that he feels that the Black Lives Matter stance on the nuclear family structure is an issue for him. So again, this is taken from the Black Lives Matter website and their About Us section. This is not something that I made up. I just found it right in here. It says, "We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable." Look, I'm all for it takes a village to raise a child. An argument for me on that at all. Um, you know, I need a little more clarification for myself on what it means to kind of disavow the Western nuclear family structure. Again, Sam has said he doesn't support the movement. He did not say he does not support Black lives. I'm not making excuses for Sam or anything like that at all. I don't know what's in that man's heart. I don't know if he's racist or if he's not. I don't know if the players who kneeled are racist or not. To me, what I would like to see is more community outreach that the Major League Baseball does, in support of the cities that they're in. Do some other things to actually help employ more people of underserved communities in the cities that you're in. That's my thought. Again, I don't care if Sam kneeled or doesn't kneel. I don't care if you paint Black Lives Matter on the streets or not. None of it really means a whole lot to me at all, because it doesn't result in a whole lot of change or anything substantive. I'm of the opinion that, America gave Black people Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard on pretty much every big major city in America. And in any city in America, if you want to go to the hood, if you want to go to the areas that actually have problems, unfortunately, it's on those streets. We got those streets. We got the holiday. We haven't gotten a whole lot out of it. I'm beyond optics, but that's just my opinion. You guys tell me what you think. And good old Dr. Fauci, let's talk about him. Dr. Fauci, hopefully you can flatten this COVID-19 curve the way that you flattened that terrible curveball that you threw. But you can't do that, sir, if you don't practice what you preach and you don't wear your damn mask. Peace. I'm out. Make sure you hit subscribe.